To practice the Vipassana meditation technique developed by Sayadaw U Kundala, you are expected to maintain a highly specific mechanical rhythm. You must execute one distinct mental noting every single second. That equates to a relentless pace of 3,600 notes per hour. The objective is to leave absolutely zero gaps in cognitive awareness. At this speed, you aren't observing broad, abstract concepts. You are tracking a rapid-fire, continuous stream of physical micro-movements and the mental intentions that trigger them. This extreme rigor is a highly calibrated evolution of the new Burmese method, a system that originally anchored mindfulness to the physical rising and falling of the abdomen. The monk who popularized that baseline method was the Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Mahasi Sayadaw possessed immense canonical authority. At the historic Sixth Buddhist Council in 1954, he served as both final editor and questioner, ensuring the meditation techniques aligned strictly with the original Buddhist texts. His most exacting successor was Sayadaw U Kundala. Before dedicating himself to meditation, U Kundala spent 2 decades teaching the Abhidhamma, the highly technical framework of Buddhist psychology, to hundreds of monks at the Maydhini Forest Monastery. U Kundala transitioned from a theoretical scholar into a practical meditation master only after completing a grueling, year-long intensive retreat directly under Mahasi Sayadaw. In 1978, he established the Saddhammaransi Mahasi Meditation Centre in Yangon. He built it specifically to push advanced yogis further into the practice. U Kundala took the established Mahasi method and infused it with Abhidhamma precision. He operationalized ancient psychological theory into a high-density, hyper-granular meditation protocol. While sitting meditation builds deep concentration, the Saddhammaransi method utilizes walking meditation to build durable mindfulness that survives off the cushion. Standard walking meditation often breaks a step down into 3 parts. U Kundala expanded this into a highly technical sequence of 6 distinct micromovements. Look at this anatomical map. A single step is divided into lifting, raising, pushing, dropping, touching, and pressing. Crucially, before any physical movement, the rupa, occurs, the yogi must note the mental intention to move, the nama. The intention always fires milliseconds before the muscle activates. U Kundala demands even further subdivision. A single action like lifting is broken down again, forcing the meditator to note its exact beginning point and its exact ending point. Executing this level of granularity drastically reduces the speed of walking. It takes several seconds just to complete one full step. By forcing the brain to process kinetic data at this microscopic level, the conceptual reality of a solid person walking begins to dissolve. You stop seeing a leg and start experiencing a sequence of firing impulses. This mechanical deconstruction triggers the first major insight knowledge, Namaru Papariccheda Nana, the direct experiential discernment of mind and matter as distinct, separate processes. Formal meditation is only half the practice. The highest risk of losing mindfulness occurs in the meditation-free zones, the mundane tasks in between sitting and walking. To counter this, U Kundala instituted a strict behavioral directive. Practitioners must navigate the retreat environment as if they were a weak invalid. This physical fragility is deliberately cultivated. Every transition, dressing, washing, or simply changing posture, must be executed with absolute, agonizing slowness. Before initiating any of these transitions, the yogi must isolate and note the preceding impulse, silently labeling intending to sit or intending to stand. The ultimate test of eliminating gaps in awareness is the daily eating protocol. To bring a single bite of food to the mouth, the yogi must synchronize their internal noting with this exact sequence: intending, looking, reaching, lifting, and opening. Once the food enters the mouth, the sequence continues: placing, chewing, tasting, and swallowing. By maintaining this weak invalid protocol, concentration does not reset to 0 between formal sessions. It compounds continuously over days and weeks. This hyper-focused immobility comes with an inevitable physiological consequence: the onset of severe physical pain. known as dukkha vedana. When this pain becomes so intense that it overrides the primary object of the breath, U Kundala's protocol dictates the yogi must not change their posture. Instead, as this cross-section shows, they must objectify the pain by investigating its spatial depth. They probe the sensation to determine if it resides superficially on the skin, deeper in the muscle tissue, or all the way down in the bone marrow. Next, the yogi clinically labels the qualitative data of the pain. They identify the sensation strictly with metrics like stiffness, hot, or aching. Surviving this intense self-investigation without breaking concentration requires robust psychological scaffolding. To provide this, U Kundala utilizes a unique framing of the 10 paramis, or perfections. He pulls these concepts out of the abstract realm of past life karma and deploys them as active, real-time retreat strategies. If a practitioner's meditation becomes stagnant, it is treated as a deficiency in a specific parami that must be actively engaged to fix the problem. For example, the parami of khanti, or patience, is treated as a mechanical requirement. You must deploy it to sit through and observe agonizing physical sensations without reacting. The parami of sakka, or truthfulness, is required to forcibly restrict the mind to direct, raw sensory experience, preventing it from escaping into imagination or mental narrative. By integrating the paramis as active psychological tools, U Kundala transforms severe pain from a retreat-ending hindrance into a vehicle for structural insight. By sustaining 3,600 notes an hour, painstakingly mapping intentions, and deploying the paramis, the mind is forced to observe reality as it is, a ceaseless, impersonal flow of phenomena. Over the decades, this rigorous methodology spread out of Myanmar, drawing international yogis seeking advanced instruction. The primary hubs for this specific practice remain in Asia, notably the original Saddhammaransi Center in Yangon and Panditarama Lumbini in Nepal. The methodology reached North America, seeded by teachers like Joseph Goldstein and Jack Kornfield at the Insight Meditation Society in Massachusetts. Today, venues for strict, intensive Sayadaw-led practice exist in the U.S., such as the Maryland Buddhist Meditation Society. In Europe, the strict protocols of this lineage are maintained by organizations like the Satipanya Buddhist Trust in Wales. Sayadaw U Kundala's technique proves liberation is not a mystical accident. It is the guaranteed, mechanical result of relentless, granular, and empirical observation.